Great. All right. Hello and welcome to our first episode of Live Behind the Bricks from Bill in Denmark. Thank you so much for your patience with our technology issues. This is our first time using this platform for this podcast, and I am super guilty of pushing the wrong button all the time. So anyway, I'm really excited to get on with it here today. I have some excellent colleagues joining me from the additive manufacturing and design team, and we're going to find out exactly what that means. I'm going to be asking them a lot of questions. They brought some questions they want to ask each other, and I know you're going to put some questions here in the chat. You can also use that little Q&A button down in the corner and put some questions in there. Our producers are on the other end, and hopefully the technology is working really well for them, and they'll send any questions our way. We'll try to get to everybody's. If we don't, someone from the LEGO group will try to get back to you. All right, let's get started. I think all of my colleagues are joined. Do we have all 5 of us on here now?
No, it's only we
all right,
three.
Well, through the magic of modern technology, we hope to have all 5.
Hey. Nice. Correct button, Jake. Good job.
Thanks for joining, everyone. And I'd just love it if we just take a little round here. I'd like you to just introduce yourself, say your name, what's your job title, tell me where you're from, and then you can hand it off to the next person. Let's start with you, Ronan.
My name is Ronan. I am the head of AD&M, Additive Design and Manufacturing at the LEGO Group. I am from Israel originally, and off to you, Connie.
Hi, my name is Connie. I'm a process engineer at the LEGO Group, and I'm from Chile/Germany. So Daphne, you're next.
Hi, my name is Daphne. I'm a senior process engineer, and same as Connie, and I'm from the Netherlands. Oscar?
Cool. Hi, my name is Oscar, and I'm an engineer/build developer at Additive Design and Manufacturing, and I'm from Poland.
All right, so that leaves me. My name is Sarah. I'm an agile coach, or the agile coach in the AD&M department at the LEGO Group, and I'm from Portugal.
Excellent. Well, thank you all. And my name is Jake. I do not work in additive manufacturing. I work in another part of the organization called the Employee Play Engagement Team. And the talent team has asked me here today to be the host, to ask you all a whole bunch of different questions and get really behind the bricks, what it is that you guys do in your daily job. What does it mean by additive manufacturing? I think that's the first big question. What really is additive manufacturing?
And I'm taking notes. So, let's see who answers right.
I think it should be you, Ronan, actually start.
Well, additive manufacturing is a technology, is a manufacturing technology that basically lays layer by layer and makes a 3-dimensional object by putting those layers. So we start with the digital design and break down into very thin layers, and then transfer that to the machine, who's basically manufacturing that layer by layer, making a 3-dimensional object.
So I guess maybe sometimes people call it 3D printing. Is that accurate? Is that a way to describe it?
Yeah. So that's the common sort of term for that, and what the media would also be using is 3D printing, and I guess that's very understandable. We try not to use the term 3D printing in the company because it sort of creates the perception of a small desktop printer on somebody's table, where we use machines the size of a truck. So we call it additive manufacturing to give it a little bit more of a production understanding.
Okay. Now, so 3D printing, I mean, that's kind of, that could be a home technology, for example, but is that how Lego bricks are typically made?
That is not how Lego bricks are typically made. Injection molding is the way that all Lego bricks are being made today, except for the very few that we have started experimenting with in the market in the last couple of years. We are still very sort of immature in the way that we are producing, and still developing new technologies and testing different technologies of how we're going to manufacture. we know we want to do it, but there's still a way to go with some of the technologies. But we're really starting to experiment now in the market.
Cool. So what does then, if the Lego Group is not using additive manufacturing to actually make their brick products, or most of their brick products, then why do we have it? What do we do with it here in the Lego Group?
Who wants to take it?
I can talk about what we do besides the bricks, or the ones. So we focus on two things: the consumer parts, but also equipment and tooling. And I'm an equipment and tooling team. So, for example, all the little bricks that get decoration, they need to be held in a fixture. And all these models are very complex, very organically shaped. So we put them in a nice 3D printed fixture, and then it goes under the machine where it gets this decoration.
So that's like a jig or something that kind of,
it's okay. A jig. It holds the element while it's being in decoration. So during the process, it's very hard for some, like you have this little element, like a little cat or something, and you have to hold it. It's quite hard to design. And then our fixtures, they are faster to produce. They are complexly shaped. They have nice clicking features, and they are just also more affordable.
Cool. So a lot of applications inside the organization. I mean, do we then use this technology also to make tools, the tools that then make the bricks? Is it do we find these parts in robots and stuff around the factory? We do. Okay, cool.
Yes. Yeah. We do a lot of different projects. We have a lot of different departments that are our customers, so to say. Last weekend we had family days, and then we saw all these other buildings, and I noticed 3D printed parts that I didn't even know we had printed. I was like, hey, that's inside a machine. That's new.
Surprise.
I just spot one of the 3D printed parts. I just recognize them anywhere. The surface, the material, the color. I was like, hey, this is all 3D printed.
I heard when you were introducing yourselves, I heard a lot of engineering titles. Is that your background? Are you all from did you start out in additive manufacturing?
I think it's your turn, Connie.
Yes and no. So I actually study biology and deep dive into biomedicine in my master's, and started as a working student in a 3D printing startup or post-processing startup, and that's how I came into 3D printing. So my background has nothing to do with engineering, and I'm still very much into 3D printing now. So yeah, everybody can do that.
So are you?
So you're doing engineering, but for a biologist.
Okay.
But yeah, that's completely different. Yeah, different thing.
Yeah. And for me, I've been 3D printing since forever. I started as a hobby designing jewelry during my bachelor's, and then my bachelor thesis was about 3D printing. I focused my whole master on it. Every course was available. I tried to make it about 3D printing, and then I started my whole career in that. So it can go all different ways to come to the Lego Group.
So is that coming from a bit of a craft background? Is that?
No, I studied industrial design engineering. So it's I think a lot of people have that background in our department.
Cool.
It's very good background.
What about you?
I actually studied mechatronics. So it's not necessarily additive manufacturing per se. It's also really hard to be an additive manufacturing engineer because there's no such education. So we have people from different kinds of backgrounds, and everybody just kind of add their own skills to the pile. So that's what's amazing about additive manufacturing in our team, is that we're so diverse in skills and also culturally. So yeah, it's really amazing.
And Sarah, you said something about agile. Now, how does agile fit into additive manufacturing?
Okay, so agile is what you could call the soft skills. So essentially, the processes that we have in place, the ways that we work together, that's on me. So I'm also an engineer. I'm a mechanical engineer by training, but I do not do any sort of technical stuff here in the team. So I help the team optimize and improve our processes so that we can communicate better and in the end perform better, essentially.
Yeah, in a way you can say that agile and additive manufacturing were born for each other, because one of the advantages of using AM, which is how we call additive manufacturing in short, is that you can iterate really fast and really get something physical in your hands really fast. And that is also the whole premise of agile, is that you release and learn and go back and adjust. And so it was a natural sort of fit between the technology and then the ways of working. And Sarah is an agile coach in disguise, right? She's undercover. She is an engineer in the background.
Yeah.
Ronan, I'm, sometimes when I've seen the designers who are working on our products, maybe they want to come with a new element or something. Is it also your team that's helping them to bring those new elements to life, at least in their kind of early versions?
Yeah. So officially, no. So we were very sort of keen on involving the designers, that's their job, is in the people that come with the designs of the Lego elements, either in product development, if we are in the application of consumer goods, or of the equipment, if we are in the application of the internal application of the equipment. So, of course, we have a certain a center of excellence within our group, people that know design for additive manufacturing very, very well. So we work with these people to educate and get their knowledge of design to a high level, but of course with the intent that they're the ones that are doing the design, and our team is responsible sort of to do what we call build development, which I'm sure Oscar can talk a lot about, or what we do in development. But that's the core sort of role of Oscar's team, in addition to working on the technology development itself in order to actually manufacture those parts.
So essentially we have two main areas of focus, which is equipment development and element development, or element maturing. So as Ronan said, our final goal is to educate the designers so they design the elements themselves, knowing all the additive manufacturing restrictions and also opportunities. And we as build developers, we're helping to take this design from the model to the printer and to the final product. And that's what we're doing. And also, of course, in reality, there's a lot of opportunities that they are not aware of. So it often helps to have some brainstorming session within the elements, just because there's so many possibilities and so many cool new features and mechanisms that can be squeezed into our little Lego bricks that they haven't even dreamed about. So we're trying to just inspire designers to start designing for AM.
I love that role of inspiration. And I'm also thinking, in terms of inspiration, about the different skill sets that you bring. And I guess there's quite a few different skills in your team. When you're looking at talent, when you're thinking about who's going to join the team, what kind of things are important? What do you look for in the talent that might come into additive manufacturing?
Passion.
No. Team play, yeah.
Yeah. I think, it depends on the position and it depends on the level. I think if it's somebody with experience in additive manufacturing, then it's really all about the person. Is it the right person for the team? I'm very, very proud of the guys and girls in the team, and I think we've put a really great team together. So for us, it's all about the proactiveness and the fact that there's a lot to do and a lot to develop, and and you cannot be a holes in the cheese kind of person. So it's more about attitude and an approach to it. And of course, if it's an entry level position, then there is not even a requirement for experience with additive manufacturing. Then you just come here and we'll teach you what additive manufacturing is all about. Of course, for the more senior roles, then a good experience with additive manufacturing is always a bonus.
Oh, that's great, because I did see somebody mention something about designer education, graphics design, is that a helpful thing that they should, consider pursuing to come into a team like this?
So somebody with good CAD skills, computer-aided design is definitely, it's a very good basis to have. I guess, Oscar, that's some of the basic skills in your teams that you develop the build development from.
Yes, definitely. I mean, CAD skills are, I wouldn't say necessary, because you can come from a lot of backgrounds and then learn the skills that you're missing. But I think it's a great starting point. You can as well come from a programmer's perspective, where we will focus on automating our processes. And then if you just need to have a passion, because then you can of course learn everything. And we have a huge group of extremely qualified people that I'm sure you'll just absorb the knowledge and skills from.
And I think it has a lot to do with the mindset that you come in with. So this focus on being a problem-solving person and addressing challenges and facing problems head on, I think that's even most important than the skill set or the technical skill set that you bring with you.
Yeah, I think indeed problem-solving skills is very important, because you have a lot of times, I need to get this goal, how am I going to get there? And just you need to be able to make a plan and also troubleshoot a lot, because it is 3D printing, additive manufacturing. Prints don't always work the way you do. It's a lot of troubleshooting, a lot of thinking, why is it not going the way I want? So you need to be able to be flexible and really try all ways possible to get to a certain goal.
Yeah, it is a very new technology still. So it's thinking out of the box that sometimes gives you this edge and gets you quicker there. So it's a lot of iterations, a lot of talking to each other, a lot of teamwork within the team, but also with other teams in ADMN. And so it's like a little family what we have there, and we're all very close, and that's the cool thing. So I just joined 2 months ago, and I really feel like it's a little family.
And no one mentioned the fun. It's so important to have fun.
It is so important to have fun.
Speaking of fun, maybe, Sarah, you pointed me to one of my favorite questions. I wonder about play. How do you bring play into your job in additive manufacturing?
Well, for starters, in a lot of the meeting rooms, we do have Lego bricks that we play with during the meetings, and that is fully okay. I mean, we just have them everywhere so that they can inspire us, and our offices are so colorful. And I think the Lego Group's mission is in fact to inspire and develop the builders of tomorrow. So the children, they are our role models in the end. So we kind of have to think like children sometimes. What would they like in terms of play experiences? And the fact that we have that in the back of our minds all the time just allows us to be more playful in everything that we do.
Mm-hmm. I noticed some playful elements. I'm just going to call it out for some people, because some people are calling it on the chat as well. And I can see that some of the things that you have around you are additive manufactured or 3D printed, I guess. Do you want to share any of that? Because that seems very playful. If you're able to, kind of print some things that that you might like to play with around the office or something.
I mean, I'm not quite sure if we can showcase everything, because we don't want to, destroy the surprise.
Not giving anything away, of course.
But maybe some test elements. What do you think, Rowan?
I don't have any with me.
I don't have any with me either. You're the only one.
Exactly.
What about sunglasses? Does anybody have a pair of sunglasses?
I do have a pair of sunglasses. It's not Lego printed here. So,
okay.
And I also have the earrings. I think you're saying that, yes, those are 3D printed. And because my background is in post-processing, and I've worked there for almost 5 years in another company, I do have a lot of 3D printed stuff. And I think everybody here has a lot of 3D printed stuff, because we are into this whole technology, and we like to just see what other companies also do, because it makes you think about new things and new functions, and makes you think out of the box. And that's essentially what we want to do, because if we want to be playful, and if we want to have something that we can use with children, we need to play also with the things that we print and see, okay, is there a new playing value that we can add to our printed stuff? that we cannot maybe achieve with injection molding, that we can maybe see in a different way.
That's such a great segue. Can you maybe think of something that you've made in the past few years that you brought to life for the Lego group that maybe is easy to bring together for a molding process, for example?
I mean,
there you go.
Flagship part is, oh, there it is.
I think you can take
that, and what we're seeing here, that's the 3D printed or the additive manufactured duck, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's right.
The duck.
How did that come about?
So, we were looking for something that, as a part of our strategy, we're right now sort of still piloting and learning a lot about our internal capabilities, but also very importantly on our consumer sort of perception of the parts. We know there's a lot of work to be done still, but we wanted to see where the play value was and how people experienced, a different type of a Lego brick. And then it was a different type of a Lego brick, but with a clear throwback to Lego history. And I'm really, really happy about that design, right? Because it definitely sort of links different things that the Lego group has done through the history. For us, with this particular part, it was very, very important to integrate, as Connie said, to integrate some sort of an internal functionality, something that goes, wow, right? Something that says, oh, I've never seen anything like that before, So the integrated duck going quack, quack, quack is definitely some of the things that we want to show with additive manufacturing. More bricks with a little bit more functionality and a little bit more play in that sense is one of the things that we are testing now with additive manufacturing. And we got thousands of, or at least hundreds of reviews and surveys and people giving us feedback on what they liked and what they didn't like. And it's all super, super good learning for us to take to the next things that are coming up in the future.
Now that duck is red. Is it printed with the same kind of material that the Lego bricks are made out of, or is that a different type of material?
It is a different type of material. It's a polyamide material for those of you in the crowd that are material people.
There are a lot of technical questions in there. Maybe some that I don't even understand how to ask. But
but when you have a podcast about additive design and manufacturing, I assume it attracts some of the crowd. No. So it's not the regular material. It's a different type of material. We also have many different types of materials in our molding platform that serve all kinds of different functionality, right? So for us, it's all about fitting the right function to the right material and also what is suitable for the technologies that we are using.
Can you talk a little bit about how that process maybe, how does it change? What is the future for our products, or for how we, where is the revolution here in bringing additive manufacturing in?
Yeah, so as I said several times now, we are still in the piloting phase, right? So for us, it's really about learning right now. So I wouldn't say exactly that we know actually where we are going to end up with. We know the playing grounds. We know that we want to enable more play, and it's all about what kids and some older kids, what people would consider as really fun and creative to do. So we're through the tests that we're doing, we're also getting a lot of feedback about the play value, and that's going to shape the way that we use this technology in our portfolio in the next couple of years. So it's still a little bit of open, a lot of learnings, both from outside and from the inside, and a good journey to go through.
I want to talk a little bit about that journey, and I want to talk because one of the things I noticed when I'm looking at the screen here, we're a very diverse group can you talk a little bit about people who are coming into the team, about the talent that you're looking for in terms of why should I'm a young person in college. Why should I think about already a career in additive manufacturing, and maybe what's in it for me from a different perspective? Maybe Connie or Daphne or Sarah, maybe you could take this one.
Well, from an environment perspective in the office, in our team, we have currently 14 nationalities. Correct me if I'm wrong, Ronan, but I think that's where we're at right now. And I would say it's about 50-50 male and female, so we're pretty diverse. And I would say we mostly are around or between 20 to 40 years old. So it's a very, very young team as well. And that's also really nice because we have a lot of young minds brimming with ideas and bringing cool stuff in. But it's like all of my colleagues here said, it's the fact that we want to have fun, that we want to take up new challenges. So either if you come in with no experience and just want to learn about additive design and manufacturing, or if you have a ton of experience with it, just apply, because we do have a lot of fun together and we create such cool things here.
Yeah, what I would like to add was the work environment is absolutely great and the team is amazing to work with. But also technically it's very interesting. If you're in the additive manufacturing world, you often have either high volume but low quality, like print surfaces, or you have very high quality but very low volume. Think of aerospace. And the LEGO Group does something no one else does, and it is high quality and high volume. Okay. And that made me so interested. And then I came here and was like, oh, the team is also amazing.
Extra bonus.
Yeah. And it's hard to know beforehand, because every company tells beforehand, oh, it's amazing, we're a great team. No one's going to say, yeah, we're not that great.
We are great.
Then you come here and you really see that it's not just words, it is reality.
Maybe I should log off and then see what you say.
Yeah.
It's also like from a general perspective, like additive manufacturing is such a quickly expanding sector, and it's already extremely advanced. So like we can only dream what it might do in the future. So it's really great to be ready for it. And I think we are like, the head of the arrow of the industry. So if you're anyhow intrigued by additive manufacturing, like this is the place to be. Like this is where you're gonna learn everything there is to know and every novelty there is in this world. So
this is the front line of innovation, really, in additive.
At least in plastic.
If you think about, sorry.
No, I said at least in plastic.
Yeah.
So if you think about injection molding, for example, it also started at the beginning being a technology that wasn't mature and that had to be adjusted for a specific sector. And that's what we are essentially doing with 3D printing right now with the AM industry within LEGO, trying to perfect everything so that we have high quality and high volume parts, as Daphne said. And
it's not because we're crazy people, right? I mean, there's a reason. We are crazy people. No, but there's a reason for it. I mean, the product requirements are so that, in order to enable the good play experience that the LEGO Group has, right? Those quality requirements are super strict and super harsh, and therefore there's almost no other option for us than to push the boundaries of both quality and quantity, and that's sort of the necessity in it. It's not just because we love being crazy engineers and do all kinds of crazy things.
Yeah.
Which we also do.
We do actually.
Our requirements are here, but also the facilities within the LEGO Group to support us are already there. We already have high-end measuring, people with so much material experience, all the departments that support us. So that's also quite unique. A lot of 3D printing companies, they start with only 3D printing and additive manufacturing, and so they don't have that years of experience they already have with polymers and already all testing facilities and how to gain quality and do quality checks. And it's amazing to come in here and don't have to invent the wheel again. You really have so much knowledge surrounding it that you can ask for, and that is also makes your life so much easier.
And so much, like a lot of resources that actually help us out. like measuring stuff and like, okay, let's do this iteration. Then you ask somebody else from a complete different team in a complete different area, and they give us an insight that we could just use for 3D printing. So it's a lot of resources, a lot of connection between everybody.
That was what I was going to hit on. It seems like you're collaborating with a lot of different teams across the Lego group. Do you want to talk a little bit about how, I mean, there's sort of a one team perspective that we have here, that we're all sort of working together across boundaries. How does that come into play for you?
Yeah, I think the duck is a good example, right? We could have never put that on the market without help from our colleagues from all over the organization, colleagues from the novelty element design team and the materials team and the metrology teams and the quality, everything in our production floor team, super professional people all through, and of course our designers from product development and so on. So this is absolutely not a 30 people effort, right? This is a lot of colleagues from all over the company work with us on a daily basis and also teach us a lot of things, because we're the new kids on the block. We know additive very, very good, but additive within the Lego group, right? That there's a lot to learn there, and there's so many professionals all through the company that are really just top class professionals that really help us do the things that we do.
Yeah. And I guess some of the processes that you're developing now maybe also help to inform other teams. Sarah, there was a question here about serious play, and I know you're using agile within your team as a coach. So do you bring in something like serious play? Is that also, for those of you out there who don't know, there's a thing called Lego Serious Play, which is also a way of bringing more play into your work?
Definitely, and I'm sure, like, as you know, that we also have the Leadership Playgrounds, which is a program developed by the Lego Group to increase our skills of leadership in all of us, whether we are engineers or managers or vice presidents. It doesn't matter, because we all have a leader inside of us, and that's also a lot about being playful and about bringing these experiences that you have at home with your kids, with your friends, and bringing that to work. And I think that's one of the core values and ideas of serious play. And and that has a lot to do with agile. So me being an agile coach, I do a lot of facilitation, a lot of coaching, and that has also a lot to do with fun, about bringing your own experiences to the table and sharing yourself, your feelings, being vulnerable with your team, so that we can actually take actions and then improve and in the end become a better team, essentially.
Amazing. I'm not 100% sure, but there's a question on 3D printing and when it might come more into regular sets. Should we just address that? Is that something we're going to see on the horizon? Maybe that's something we can't talk about.
I was going to ignore that question.
But thank you, Jay, for bringing it up. Depends how big of a horizon you think about. I mean. Yeah,
exactly. I mean, as I said, there's a lot to do in order to really take it into mass production. And anybody who's ever heard us talk about additive manufacturing also knows that we are also the biggest critics of it, right? We are not just a bunch of groupies, that just think, it's going to solve all the world's
problems.
Why is that?
Why would you say?
Well, yeah, I think it's because we work with it on a daily basis. We also know where the challenges are, and when we meet the Lego Group's requirements for quality and quantity, which are some of the harshest in plastic production, right? Then we also know where the gap is, and that just tells us, okay, there's a lot of work to do, both in terms of quality, in terms of quantity, in terms of cost. And so, of course, there's a lot of things that need to be moving, and that's not just something that we can pick up by ourselves, right? The whole industry needs to move together with us, suppliers and supply chains and all of that stuff. Everybody needs to work together to make it a more viable business for for a big company like Lego to really sort of release it in a mass market way.
Okay.
So I would just say that, of course, for us, it's what we want. We want to reach as many children as we can. Generally, in the Lego group, we want to reach as many children as we want, and of course, we want to reach as many children as we can with additive manufacturing as well. It will just take some time before we can really mature this to mass scale, but absolutely, that's where we want to be at the end of the road. Was that a politician's answer or what?
Just a little bit. I think it was good though. I think that was a good one. There are a couple of process questions in here which I tried to hit really quickly. I don't know. It's probably not quick answers, but I think I'm also conscious of time, and I think we probably will start a wrap up soon. But there's something in here about AI. So is that a technology that we think about now or employ at all?
I mean, I think AI is being used at the moment in every sort of industry. So of course, in our department and in others, we use it to help, but it's not necessarily yet being implemented, as in that it's driving our processes or designs. It's not yet at this point. Especially also that we prioritize confidentiality very high, and before we use any tools, we just want to be 100% sure that requirement is met.
Yeah, in general for AI, you need data to train models on, and the data gathering of additive manufacturing equipment and not just the printers, but everything around it. In general, the state of the technology in the additive manufacturing industry is just not there yet to have a large amount of data that you can train any AI on. So you will not have any print-specific AI tool.
Okay.
Such a big term, also AI, huh? It's like, you think robots and
these days.
Yeah, it is.
Reading my email, I think, as well. So everybody is affected, but I think it's on everybody's mind. So I brought it up.
Yeah.
There was
but of course there's.
Sorry.
No,
go ahead.
No, of course, elements of it. I'm sorry, Jake, but just to say that elements of it in terms of machine learning and stuff like that are absolutely within our range of tools that we are using. Maybe we're just a little cautious with the term AI and how people use it and throw it around. And nowadays, I think we have made a point to educate ourselves enough that we just don't necessarily call it that way, and that's probably why we are critical also on that.
Makes sense.
You call everything AI these days. I saw recently a shoe advertisement, AI shoes, and they were just shoes.
Okay, so your shoe is learning somehow about how you walk.
Yeah.
Interesting. Getting back a little bit to people coming into the group, I saw there was a question about interns. Do you take interns into the program?
Definitely.
We do a lot. In fact, we have quite a lot of interns in the team. I think every semester we have a minimum of four interns, and definitely it's a fantastic way to get into the team, because we halfway joking, halfway not say that an internship is a half-year-long job interview. So it's both for the intern themselves to know, okay, is it so great as they say in the podcast, or is it just a talk? Is it the forefront? Is it something for me? But also a way for us to get to know the person, and of course, if you're a good intern, you can make yourself invaluable in a sense, and just it would be almost a no-brainer to hire somebody after you've been with us for a long time. We have some fantastic interns working with us.
Shout out to the interns; they're amazing.
Awesome.
We also have yeah.
I was once an intern too, and I ended up here, so I can confirm.
Amazing. So, all right, so that's a path. Now, how do I find out about something like that? Or how do I find out about roles that might be in additive manufacturing in general?
Yeah, so all our job ads, including our internship positions, are on the Lego website, lego.com/jobs, I believe it is. And if you type in the search additive manufacturing, you will immediately see all the jobs that are available in our team. So I think just give it a go. Just apply, and we are definitely a growing team. So we're looking forward to continue to have good colleagues join the team.
And I think it's also worth it to just set up notifications on LinkedIn regarding Lego jobs. You'll for sure find something interesting for you.
If we took a round now and just said, why should I actually try to apply for a role in additive manufacturing? Sell it to me. What's the elevator pitch here on joining? Because I might be looking for something. Who knows? The technology on this podcast, they might be like, oh, you're out. So
I think you're doing pretty good, Jay.
Well, for starters, you will have a lot of fun, and you'll be working at the forefront of innovation. And I think that is a lot for us engineers, specifically for me. So I think it's just this type of challenge just takes it to a whole new level. And I must tell you, this team is amazing, and we have so much fun together. And even when things crash, we find a way to have fun with failures. So overall, I think it's a very, very healthy working environment that we have going on.
And from a technical perspective, it's such a creative industry. I mean, additive manufacturing, like whatever geometry, whatever function you can think of, you can 99% just do it with AM somehow. So like the experience that you'll gain here is just invaluable, and and the team is amazing. So basically, it's like a no-brainer. If you're thinking about it, then just apply.
Yes. You talked, Sarah, about failures, mentioned failures, and a question came in about were there some failures that had turned into successes, or something where something unexpected happened, and maybe that's a benefit to the group, or maybe you guys made a new partner within the group or something. Is there you have an example where that might have happened?
Well, it's not difficult to find examples because we have that every single day. I mean, things crash on a daily basis. So, and the whole core of working agile is that we can quickly learn from our failures and our mistakes. So we don't look at them as something negative, but rather as a learning opportunity that eventually will turn into a success, either by learning some technical aspects or by developing a closer relationship with the suppliers, with our stakeholders within the Lego group. So in the end, all failures become successes.
Mm-hmm. Amazing answer. That was a great answer. Then not a failure necessarily, not a failure at all. But there's a question in about what are we doing with the waste? How do we deal with sustainability? So things that do go wrong, or things that we're not going to use. What are we doing with that material?
Yeah, so the short answer would be it's a high focus area on two fronts, both those from the AM world, both on the material that we use in the process and how we bring that back into the process, but also in terms of reducing scrap rates. So also increasing the throughput and the quality of what comes from our system. So in general, it's one of the things that we are really, really focusing on right now, both from an environmental point of view, from a value point of view. The Lego Group has a very, very high ambition on sustainability as well, but also from a cost point of view. Waste is waste, and it costs a lot of money to waste. So if we waste a lot, then things get expensive, and we don't want to have that. So so it's a high focus area for us to reduce waste in many different ways, in many different parts of the process.
And in many ways, additive manufacturing by itself is a very sustainable technology, since the development process is so much shorter, so you don't need to develop multiple molds and waste metal. For this instance, you just do multiple iterations, and we reuse all the material that's left after the process. So I think that's a tremendous advantage of additive versus conventional methods.
From a sustainability perspective, great.
Yes.
I think we're pretty much out of time here, or almost out of time. I just want to wrap up with the statement, just imagine. If you guys could finish that, just imagine working in the Lego group where something. I'll put you all on the spot now.
Just imagine working in the forefront of the AM technology, or one of them. We're not, there's others obviously, but just imagine working in the Lego group on AM. That's also a cool combination.
With a lot of diverse people, highly energetic and skilled, and it's always something always fun if you make it that way.
Surrounded by Lego bricks everywhere.
Yeah.
Lego everywhere. If you feel overwhelmed or if you just need a minute, you can take some bricks and go into a little cubicle or somewhere and try to build something and calm down, then come back and you be fresh.
Lego during meetings, that's just
regular.
Yeah.
And just imagine having all the tools and all the support that you want to succeed in your job. It's all there, both the people.
And if you don't, then you can always build it out of Lego. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, and essentially being an active agent into shaping the playful experiences that the children of tomorrow will have. Yeah, I think that's really at the core of it as well.
Great answers, everyone. Oscar, Daphne, Sarah, Connie, and Ronan, thank you so much for joining Behind the Bricks. Everybody out there, all of the viewers, anyone who's interested in joining Ronan and the team, look out for jobs on lego.com/careers. You should get an email after this episode that's going to tell you a little bit more about that. And any questions that we didn't get to in the chat, our producers on the Lego group are looking through. Any last words that anybody wants to say? Something I missed? No? All right. Awesome. Thank you.
No.
Thank you, Jake.
Sorry for the technical issues.
Thank you, Jake.
And thank you guys. Thank you guys for waiting.
Everybody.
Really appreciate it.
Amazing. Bye.
Bye.